Meanwhile, the ANC in the Joburg regions expressed confidence that despite the delays in the motion against Phalatse, she will eventually be removed.
We are confident that we will remove the sitting mayor, and not through the courts but through council processes. And the reasons that we found ourselves having to accept the decision by the Speaker to withdraw the motion from the agenda was on the basis that the motion as it comes back would have been a subject of the court. As you know that for some reason Action SA was able to smuggle the matter to a Section 79 committee called Impact, and as a result of that, when matters are within committees, it becomes difficult for them to be heard in council.
Let's go to the guest. Well, there's, of course, lots of different reaction to all of this. Councillor Bongani Nkomo is the Deputy Caucus Leader in the City of Joburg for the Democratic Alliance. Councillor Nkomo, good afternoon to you. You would have heard all of the comments made today by the Speaker in the City of Joburg, by the ANC in the City of Joburg. Is the writing on the wall for your mayor in Joburg again?
Good afternoon, Stephen, and good afternoon to your viewers. Well, I think as things stand, our mayor is really focused on the rebuild of Joburg, and we will take the motion of no confidence as it comes and when it comes, provided that it comes within the confines of the rules of council.
We saw last week when the chairs of committees were elected, the ANC basically got all of the positions it wanted. Doesn't that show that you're obviously going to lose any votes around Phalatse?
Look, I think first and foremost we need to consider the fact that a number of those chairpersons were removed illegally. Once again, council rules and processes were flouted in their removal. But I think, as you can see in terms of what's happening in Ekurhuleni, that a week is a very long time in politics, and we continue to negotiate, with like-minded parties in council, as well as our national leadership as well. So a lot can change in a couple of days, Stephen.
You heard the Speaker, Colleen Makubele, claiming that the judiciary is politically inclined. How do you respond to that?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that she's made those statements, specifically because we've had to go to the judiciary in order to force Colleen Makubele as the Speaker to adhere and abide by council rules. And what she neglects to mention is that when you stand in front of a judiciary, you need to demonstrate beyond reasonable doubt that you've also exhausted all council processes. We've exhausted all council processes. We've tried to reach out to Colleen in a number of platforms, one being programming. And our argument has been follow the rules. It's as simple as following the rules. And unfortunately, in this case, like other cases, we've had to depend on the judiciary to implement council rules.
I've got to ask, I understand the point that the rules are the rules, and I think in a way it's important to have a precedent to say that the rules are the rules, and I get that. But is there any point in clinging to power through the courts when you're going to lose in the end anyway? Because it really does look like that if you do the maths.
I think every day that the city is not in the hands of the ANC is a victory for the residents. So that's really our fight, a fight for the residents and to keep the ANC away from the purse, which is what this is really all about. But as I said, I think you're referring to a numbers game. And as I said, a week is a very long time in politics. We continue to negotiate. Ekurhuleni is a clear example of the fact that nothing is uncertain. And I think where our residents and the interests of our residents are concerned, we will do everything within our power to ensure that we give them the government that they deserve.
Councillor Nkomo, I think maybe you misspoke when you said nothing is uncertain, because to me it feels everything's uncertain at the moment. Maybe
I think look, certain times, Stephen, but I think what is certain is our commitment to the residents. And I think what is certain is that if the Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Dr Mpho Phalatse, is removed, it will be under legal processes that are in line with council. I think, we've demonstrated in Ekurhuleni that we are no, stranger to democracy, and we will accept when, our mayors are removed in a manner that follows process.
The obvious point to make is, along with all of this, is how this happened. And essentially, you lost control of the coalition. The Patriotic Alliance sort of crossed the floor to the ANC, and was rewarded with two positions on the Mayoral Committee for doing so. But isn't this also about the way, and isn't there a lesson for the DA here, in the way that it manages and that it deals with and that it works with smaller parties?
I think the real lesson was between 2016 and 2019, where we were involved in another coalition government. And one of the lessons that we learned is that we need a framework that basically dictates how we operate and how we basically manage, the affairs of council as a coalition. You've mentioned the Patriotic Alliance. The Patriotic Alliance basically, betrayed the residents of the city of Johannesburg by completely ignoring and abandoning the agreement that was signed by all of our leaders. So I think the first lesson is that we need to elect leaders that are ethical. We need to elect leaders that stand behind their commitment to the residents.
Councillor Bongani Nkomo, thank you, Deputy Caucus Leader in the City of Johannesburg for the Democratic Alliance. Well, certainly if you look at local government, it seems very little is certain at the moment.